Ever felt like you've been walking through a long, dark tunnel with no end in sight, wondering if your prayers were falling on deaf ears? What if I told you that the very hardship you're facing right now is the final requirement before a divine intervention that will rewrite your entire story? Welcome to RationalDeen. Today we are diving deep into a powerful spiritual truth regarding why you have been chosen for a specific miracle that is already in motion. You aren't here by accident. You are here because the wait is over. In this video, we're going to uncover the signs that someone is approaching your door with a life-altering surprise and how you can prepare your spirit to receive what Allah has decreed for you. By the end of this session, you will understand exactly how to recognize this shift and why your chosen one status has led you to this exact moment of transformation. Stay tuned because everything is about to change. If you feel called to go beyond the surface and walk a path of deeper spiritual realization, I invite you to join our inner circle where the journey truly intensifies. This space is reserved for those who are ready to access exclusive insights, early releases, and profound teachings that are simply too sacred for the noise of the mainstream. By becoming a member, you aren't just supporting the channel. You are stepping into a sanctuary of high-level wisdom designed for the soul that seeks more than just the ordinary. This is an invitation to sit closer to the light, reserved for the few who recognize that their time for a total spiritual awakening has finally arrived. To truly understand why you are standing at this threshold, you must first acknowledge the internal shift that has been occurring within your soul. Being a chosen one often begins with a profound sense of isolation, a feeling that the world you once knew no longer resonates with the person you are becoming. This is not a coincidence, but a spiritual refinement process, stripping away the superficial layers to reveal a vessel capable of holding a higher frequency of divine light and purpose. The weight you feel is not a burden. It is the gravity of your assignment, pulling you away from the distractions of the masses toward a path of deep introspection. You have likely noticed that you can no longer find comfort in the mundane or the hollow pursuits that satisfy others, as your spirit is tuned to a different frequency altogether. This internal friction is the primary indicator that you have been set apart for a mission that requires a level of resilience and awareness that most will never attain. This chosen status often manifests as a series of trials that seem uniquely designed to test your faith and your integrity in the face of adversity. While others seem to take the easy route, your path is paved with lessons that demand radical honesty and an unwavering connection to the divine. These experiences are the forge in which your character is tempered, ensuring that when the promised surprise arrives, you possess the spiritual maturity to handle it with grace. Recognizing your status means embracing the silence and the solitude that often accompany this journey, understanding that the Most High works best in the quiet spaces of a dedicated heart. It is in this stillness that you begin to hear the whispers of guidance that others miss, allowing you to navigate the world with a sense of divine intuition. You are being prepared to act as a bridge between the seen and the unseen, a role that requires you to be fully present, yet spiritually detached. Ultimately, accepting this call means stepping into a version of yourself that is bold, enlightened, and unapologetically aligned with your higher purpose. The moment you stop fighting your uniqueness and start honoring it, the energy around you begins to shift in your favor. You are no longer just a participant in your life. You are a conscious co-creator, standing ready to receive the manifestations that have been reserved exclusively for those who have the courage to be chosen. The concept of divine timing is an intricate tapestry woven with threads of wisdom that far exceed our limited human perspective. We often mistake a delay for a denial, but in the realm of the spirit, every pause is a deliberate preparation intended to align your current reality with your ultimate destiny. This arrival is not happening by chance. It is the precise moment when your inner growth meets the external opportunity that Allah has perfectly timed for your greatest benefit. You must realize that had this surprise arrived any sooner, you might not have had the capacity to sustain it or the wisdom to appreciate its full depth. The seasons of waiting were not meant to punish you, but to cultivate a specific type of patience that serves as the foundation for lasting success. This timing ensures that your heart is sufficiently emptied of ego and filled with gratitude, making you a perfect recipient for a blessing that will truly change everything. There is a profound intelligence in the way the universe orchestrates the arrival of our breakthroughs, often waiting until we have reached a point of total surrender. It is usually when we stop trying to force the doors open with our own strength that the divine hand gently turns the key. This transition marks the end of your period of striving and the beginning of your period of receiving, proving that what is meant for you will never miss you, no matter how long it takes. Aligning your energy with this divine schedule requires a radical trust that transcends what your physical eyes can see. You are being asked to maintain the vibration of the already answered prayer, living in a state of expectancy even when the horizon looks empty. This energetic alignment acts as a beacon, signaling that the vessel is ready and the environment is prepared for the shift that has been written for you since the beginning of time. As this window of opportunity opens, you will see that the synchronization of events is far too perfect to be called luck. Every missed connection, every closed door, and every moment of uncertainty was leading you to this specific intersection of grace and manifestation. The wait is finally over because you have finally become the person who can carry the weight of this new reality, proving that divine timing is always the most merciful timing of all. When we speak of a knock at the door, we must understand that the divine often communicates through both the physical and the metaphysical realms simultaneously. While this surprise may manifest as a literal visitor, perhaps a person holding a long-awaited answer, or a delivery that changes your trajectory, it often begins as a subtle vibration in your environment. You might feel an inexplicable urge to tidy your space, or a sudden clarity in your thoughts, signaling that the threshold between your current struggle and your new reality is thinning. The arrival is rarely a loud, chaotic event. Rather, it often carries the weight of a quiet, undeniable certainty that settles deep within your spirit. You must be observant of the messengers Allah sends, whether they come in the form of a transformative conversation with a stranger or an unexpected digital notification that holds the key to your future. This knock is a test of your presence, asking if you are still awake enough to recognize the answer to your prayers when it finally stands before you in a form you might not have expected. Being spiritually alert means looking past the surface of everyday encounters to see the divine orchestration at play behind the scenes. Sometimes the door that is being knocked upon is the door of your heart, inviting you to let go of old bitterness so that the new blessing has a place to reside. If you are too focused on the shadows of the past, you might miss the light that is currently trying to enter through the cracks of your present moment. This specific arrival is designed to be a turning point that separates your life into before and after, serving as a tangible proof of God's direct involvement in your affairs. It is a moment of convergence where your faith meets its physical manifestation, requiring you to step forward and answer the call without hesitation. The knock is not just an announcement of a guest, but an invitation to step into a larger room that has been prepared specifically for your next stage of evolution. As you stand ready, remember that the door only opens for those who have developed the courage to face the unknown with an open hand. Whether the surprise is a person, a document, or a sudden realization, it carries the signature of the divine, marking the end of your isolation. This is the moment where the unseen forces of the universe become visible, proving that you have never been alone, and that your hospitality toward your own destiny is finally being rewarded. And breaking the cycle of lack and hardship requires a total psychological and spiritual shift from a mindset of not enough to one of infinite supply. For many chosen ones, the struggle has become a familiar identity, a heavy cloak worn so long that it feels like a part of the skin. However, the surprise that is coming is designed to strip this cloak away, forcing you to reconcile with the fact that your period of testing through deprivation has officially come to an end. This transition is often the most challenging part of the journey because it demands that you stop anticipating the next disaster and start expecting the next blessing. You have been conditioned by years of just getting by, but the divine decree is now moving you into a state of overflow where your needs are met before you even vocalize them. This is not just a temporary relief. It is a structural renovation of your life's foundation, ensuring that the old patterns of scarcity can never take root again. As this cycle breaks, you will notice a change in the way you perceive value and opportunity, moving from a place of fear-based hoarding to a place of faith-based flow. The hardship was never meant to be your permanent residence. It was a temporary training ground to teach you the value of every grain of mercy. Now that the lesson is learned, the universe is removing the obstacles that once blocked your path to abundance, allowing the river of provision to reach you without effort. Healing the wounds of past financial or emotional lack is a prerequisite for sustaining the new level of success that is approaching your door. You are being called to forgive the seasons where you felt abandoned or overlooked, recognizing that those gaps were being filled with a spiritual strength that money cannot buy. The surprise arriving now is the interest on the patience you invested during those lean years, delivered at a time when you are finally stable enough to use it for a higher purpose. Ultimately, entering blessing mode means walking with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the treasury of Allah is never empty. You no longer need to bargain or plead from a place of desperation because you understand that your provision is guaranteed by the one who created you. This cycle break is your liberation, a divine intervention that resets your lineage and sets a new standard of prosperity and peace for all those who follow in your footsteps. Recognizing the messenger requires a level of discernment that looks past the physical appearance and into the spiritual essence of the encounter. Allah often wraps his greatest miracles in the most humble packaging, sending a helper who might seem like a mere stranger or someone you previously overlooked. This individual acts as the physical vessel for the divine surprise, carrying the exact word, resource, or connection needed to bridge the gap between your current struggle and your destined breakthrough. The importance of maintaining a heart of kindness toward everyone you meet cannot be overstated during this season of arrival. A simple act of compassion toward a person in need or a respectful conversation with a newcomer could be the final test of your character before the treasure is handed over. You must move through the world with the awareness that anyone could be the bearer of your good news, treating every interaction as a potential divine appointment orchestrated by the Most High. These messengers are often sent to challenge your preconceived notions of how help should arrive, forcing you to expand your vision and let go of your ego. If you are looking for a king, you might miss the sage. If you are looking for a wealthy benefactor, you might miss the humble advisor who holds the wisdom worth more than gold. By remaining open and non-judgmental, you align yourself with the frequency of the miracle, ensuring that you do not accidentally close the door on the very person sent to open it. There is a specific energy that these divine messengers carry, a sense of familiarity or a spark that resonates with your spirit. Even if you have never met them before, you will feel a profound sense of ease or an intuitive knowing that this meeting is significant. This is the Holy Spirit, or the angelic guidance, signaling to your soul that the delivery is being made, asking you to pay close attention to the message being delivered through their presence. As you identify these helpers, your role is to receive their contribution with a spirit of humility and gratitude, acknowledging that they are but instruments in a much larger plan. You don't need to chase them or force the connection. When the timing is right, Allah will ensure your paths cross in a way that is undeniable. Your task is simply to stay alert, stay kind, and be ready to welcome the human face of your divine intervention with an open heart. A total life pivot is characterized by a radical shift where the old version of your reality dissolves to make room for a version that was previously unimaginable. We often think that change happens slowly over decades, but in the spiritual realm, a single 24-hour window can hold enough power to rewrite the trajectory of your next 10 years. This everything changes effect is a sudden acceleration of destiny, where the seeds you have planted in tears are suddenly harvested in joy within a breathtakingly short span of time. To successfully navigate this pivot, you must be willing to let go of the struggling version of yourself that you have become so accustomed to. Many people subconsciously block their own breakthroughs because they are afraid of the responsibility or the visibility that comes with a massive increase in abundance. You are being called to shed your old skin and embrace a new identity, one that is defined not by your past limitations, but by your future potential and your current divine favor. This shift often feels like a whirlwind, moving you from the sidelines to the center of your own life with startling speed. The people, places, and habits that no longer serve your higher purpose will naturally fall away, sometimes abruptly, as the new energy of your surprise takes hold. While this can be disorienting, it is a necessary clearing of the ground to ensure that the new structure of your life has a solid foundation and plenty of room to grow. The pivot is not just about external circumstances like wealth or status. It is a profound internal transformation that changes how you see the world. You will find that your fears have less power over you, and your vision for what is possible has expanded beyond your previous horizons. This is the moment where your chosen one training finally makes sense, as every hardship you endured becomes a tool you can use to manage the vast new landscape you are now entering. Stepping into this new reality requires you to act with the boldness of someone who knows they are backed by the Creator of the heavens and the earth. You are no longer waiting for life to happen to you. You are stepping into a position of authority where your words and actions carry weight. This total life pivot is the manifestation of the promise that after every hardship comes ease, and you are now the living testimony of that eternal truth. The final stretch before a major breakthrough is often characterized by an intense surge of internal and external resistance that seeks to make you turn back. This is the spiritual darkest hour before the dawn, where the weight of your past and the whispers of doubt become the loudest. You must understand that this friction is not a sign of failure, but a confirmation that you are pushing against the final barrier that separates you from your miracle. The enemy of your soul often intensifies the pressure right when you are closest to the finish line, hoping that you will give up just moments before the knock at the door. Maintaining your focus during this phase requires a disciplined mind that refuses to entertain the what-ifs of fear. Doubt is a natural human reaction to the unknown, but for a chosen one, it must be treated as a distraction rather than a reality. You have to learn to silence the noise of the skeptics, even those closest to you who may not have the vision to see what Allah is doing in your life. Protecting your peace is an act of spiritual warfare, ensuring that the garden of your heart remains fertile for the blessing that is currently in transit. This resistance often manifests as sudden, petty obstacles that try to drain your energy and steal your joy. It could be an unexpected argument, a minor financial setback, or a sudden wave of fatigue that makes you question if you are truly on the right path. Recognize these for what they are, tests of your resolve. By staying calm and refusing to react emotionally to these provocations, you signal to the divine that you are stable enough to handle the massive shift that is about to occur. The strength you develop in this final stage of waiting is exactly what you will need to sustain the breakthrough once it arrives. If the journey were easy, everyone would reach the destination, but the chosen one is forged in the fire of perseverance. Use this time to double down on your spiritual practices, seeking refuge in the remembrance of Allah and reminding yourself of the promises that have already been written for you. Your steadfastness in the face of doubt is the very key that turns the lock on the door of your new life. Standing firm means anchoring yourself in the certainty of what is to come, regardless of what the current circumstances look like. You are being called to walk by faith, not by sight, understanding that the unseen world is moving with great speed to fulfill your destiny. Once you pass this final threshold of resistance, the doubt will dissolve into a testimony of triumph. Hold your ground, keep your vision clear, and do not let the temporary shadows of the night convince you that the sun is not coming. Preparing your heart for a massive increase requires an expansion of your internal capacity to receive. Most people ask for big changes, but possess small containers, limited by their own lack of imagination or hidden feelings of unworthiness. You must actively work to widen your vessel through acts of praise and by visualizing the impact of your upcoming breakthrough. When you are genuinely happy for the success of others and grateful for the small mercies in your own life, you signal that you are ready for the weight of a monumental surprise. Practical readiness means living as if the surprise has already happened, adjusting your posture, your speech, and your daily habits to match the reality of your new season. If you are expecting a life-changing guest, you don't wait for the knock to start cleaning the house. You prepare the space in advance. Similarly, you should prepare your mental and emotional space by letting go of the habits that belong to your struggle era, making room for the sophisticated responsibilities and joys of your blessing era. The frequency of appreciation is the fastest way to accelerate the arrival of your divine decree. Every time you find something to be grateful for in the midst of your waiting, you send a pulse of energy out that aligns you with the frequency of your miracle. This alignment makes it impossible for the blessing to stay away, as like attracts like in the spiritual realm. Your joy becomes the bridge over which the surprise travels to reach your doorstep, turning your life into a continuous cycle of reception and praise. As you cultivate this magnetic gratitude, you will find that the anxiety of when and how begins to disappear, replaced by a profound sense of peace. You are no longer chasing the miracle, you are attracting it through the sheer force of your contentment and trust. This is the ultimate form of readiness, where you are so full of divine appreciation that the arrival of the surprise feels like the natural conclusion to a beautiful story. Your heart is now a sanctuary of welcome, perfectly prepared for the transformation that is about to take place. As the door of your heart opens to the divine surprises awaiting you, remember that you are never walking this path alone. May you find the strength to trust in the perfect timing of your life and the peace to welcome the change that has already been written for you. Before you leave, ask yourself, are you truly ready to let go of the struggle to make room for the blessing? If you feel called to explore these truths on a deeper level, with early access to our most profound videos, consider joining our membership community. To support this message and help us reach more souls who need this light, please type the word "chosen" in the comments below. Your journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come.